Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, sure.
So hi, thanks for joining. Can you tell me what are the roles and responsibilities of a BA and how every day as a BA, what all I mean, what all do you do from morning till
Yeah.
evening?
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. Yeah. Actually, as a BA is a work as a collision between client and the IT team. What happened now? First of all, if any the IT companies are two types of IT companies are there. One is product based and one is service based. If you're working with a service based company as a BA, then in this you have to connect with the client and gather the requirement what exactly the client needs, and you just document all those requirement into a document, and according to that you can what communicate that document with your IT team, and you can guide them according to the need and expectations of the client. So this way you can develop a product for your client, and at the end you can take a user acceptance test. And in this whole journey from the uh, gathering requirement up to the deployment of the product, your work you work as a bridge between client and your IT company. This is the work of a BA in a day-to-day life.
Okay, good. Can you explain me about like a scenario where you gather? Can you explain me a specific requirement that you converted into user story and how you documented it and how you tested it? Can you tell me one specific scenario?
Okay. Suppose you working as a BA in a service-based company, and one client come to you. Suppose he want to create e-commerce company website. What you do now, first you connect with the client. What are the whether he is going to introduce this e-commerce website it's a first time, or he's having some existing e-commerce business and he's facing some issues with it, that's why he came. So you have to uh, first know what client need actually. If a client wants to create a new business and he just came to you, you just uh, have to collect all those requirements what a client have, and and you can discuss all those problems with the client, and after that you just convert all those requirements into a document. That document is called as BRD, business requirement document. After make a document, you just clarify it with the client whether all the requirements what he want, that's you collected or not. And meanwhile you can send all those documents for verification to client, and also you can communicate that document with your uh, a- with the permission from your project manager. You can send it to the your DevOps team, development team, what you say. After the product will fully develop by the developing team, in this whole process you can also communicate with the client whether his requirement is going to change or not. If he is requesting for any new change, then you can also study that change, the study the feasibility and the impact of those requirement, and if possible you can add. If not, you can communicate the same with the client, and after that the product will develop. After it's developed now, you just do a acceptance test, user acceptance test. What is acceptance test? Whatever requirement you receive from the client, first you have to test yourself that all those requirement are according to that all requirement the product is working or not. If not, then you have to again raise a request to the DevOps team, and they can also make some changes to that particular project or particular product. Then only if it's passed, then you can easily call the client for the deployment. So these are the works you can do between client and your IT team.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that you know the data flow. I just want an example. Can you provide me an example of a requirement and how you write that for that particular scenario? How you write user story and how you test it? Do you have an example? It could be a simple example.
Yeah, okay. Suppose I'm giving you a simple example. Suppose the client is coming for payment, coming to develop a payment coming to for develop a product for taking payments. For payments, but first he needs to it's a e-commerce website. First, the user used to log in with the with that particular application, and after a login, he just need to what visit that particular website. After that, he just choose whatever product he wants to purchase. After that, he can go for payment. For payment, some various options are there. Suppose card and cash on delivery and coupon. Say some coupons are there for that. So uh, in this, actually, I cannot understand what that means. I cannot take it to the exact way. Can you please give me an example? Because
Yeah, right. So, you said that a scenario is it's an e-commerce website. The user has to log in into that website and has to like add all the items and then has to check out, right? That's the scenario.
yes, that's a
Right.
scenario.
Okay. As a user, I want to log into that e-commerce website so that I can.
Yeah, that should be the user story. Yeah, so then I can able to make payment, and I can safely do the transactions, or I can easily or I can easily do the purchase. This should be
Right.
the user story. Yes.
Right. Give me 1 second. Okay. So now, what is the acceptance criteria for this? For how can we test this scenario? So how will you
Uh,
write the UAT testing scenarios now? What's the positive scenario? If the user has login name and a password, the user should be able to log in, right? Log in and
yes.
he must be able to add the items in the cart and then needs to once added, then the website has to verify all the credit card details and all the details must be valid, right? First name, last name, address, credit card details, and everything. That all that should be valid. If it's not valid, the system has to throw an error saying that's invalid number or fill this like this particular this field is blank, like that it has to throw some error, right? So let's assume
Yes.
that all the fields you have put a valid numbers. So what has to do is it has to, when the user clicks checkout button, it needs to process and an invoice has to be sent to the email ID, right? That's the process. That's a happy path of testing.
Yes. Right.
So how can the business owner test this? We should provide him a email ID or username and a password. And when he enters that, the website has to make sure that he logs in and must be able to add the items and must be able to, and you have to provide him a dummy checkout credit card number too. So when he enters that, the system must be able to process and send a invoice to or maybe a payment transaction details to the user's business owner's email ID, right? So that's how we test that scenario.
Yes.
So when you write this requirement into a user story, you have to put this as a user. I want to log into that e-commerce website so that I can add all my items to the cart and I must be able to check out. How the user story should be and
Is
acceptance criteria should be like how I said, how we can test it. Based upon the scenario, you can create the UAT test cases and a UAT test plan and ask the business owner to test.
yes.
Got it?
Yes. Got it.
Okay. The next one is, do you know SQL? Like how much SQL you know?
Yeah, SQL is a database management. tool. By using of SQL, we can extract the data from the database, because when the developer develops any product, they just stored in a database, and the test whatever we did, we can extract data from the database. With the using of SQL, we can extract data from database for testing and all.
Okay, can you give me an what are the basic statements that you have used in
uh,
SQL?
uh, Basic statements. Suppose the data are stored in SQL in table format. Suppose one table is there. If we want some data, like some column and some rows are there on that table. If we put in queries place, if you put queries like suppose I want to extract the data of uh, suppose one table is there. On that table, suppose sales and time and category, three columns are there. If I want to extract the data of sales and category, I can write in that query format that show me the data from, like I have to put in query form in query place. I have to put show me the data of category to sales. Then when we hit the enter button, it will shows up the column which are having those category and sales data, and we can work upon that.
So you're saying that you just have to write put show me and then it database is going to show you, or what's the statement, exact statement?
Exact statement I cannot remember, because so many queries are there. I have to remember actually. That's my fault. I cannot remember all those. And
No, I'm
in
asking just the
practically,
statements, like what are the basic statements in SQL that you use to pull the data? What are joins, tables? How do you, what is right? Do you know joins? What is right join, inner join, outer join?
yeah, I know, but I'm not using it practically. Because of that only, I cannot say properly what are the things.
Okay, that's fine. Next is have you used Confluence?
No, it's there, but I'm not using it.
Okay. What about Jira? Have you used Jira?
I'm not using Jira yet, but I know Jira is a project management tool where the progression and the situation of the project, the entire team can see. It's a project management tool, and with the help of Jira, in Agile Scrum project, one can write a user stories and all. I have that basic knowledge about Jira, what Jira and how Jira works. I'm not using it right till now, so that I don't know much about the tool.
Okay. What are the techniques a business analyst need to use for gathering requirements? Can you name a few techniques?
Yeah, for gathering requirements, so many techniques are there. In which the first one, I can say it's the first is interview. We can do the interview with the client, so that we can get proper requirement. After interview, we can questionnaire. We can write some questionnaire, and we can send it to the client, and this client can answer us. That's also one way of communication that we can gather the requirement. And after that, suppose target group. Suppose in an business, one groups are there who can help us really to gather the exact requirement. We can target that group, and we can easily get some requirement from them. And after that, some surveys we can do, survey with the company, with the business, and to know the requirement. And One is some workshop. We can arrange a workshop with the company, from which we want to gather the requirement. That's also one way of gathering requirement. And we can do brainstorming. That means we can sit with the companies, clients, people, and we can togetherly we can discuss something about the project, what they want actually. In this we can positively look, and we can positively take each and everyone's opinion, and according to that, if that according to the feasibility and according to the applicability, we can take all those requirements which are in need. So these are the some basic techniques of gathering requirements from the client. Apart from this, some others are also there, like JAD, and yeah, these are the techniques on the
Okay.
basis of which.
So, do you know about Agile?
Yeah, Agile.
Okay. Can you tell me what will happen in a sprint planning meeting?
Sprint planning meeting, suppose in each sprint it will offer 2 to 3 weeks, maximum 4 weeks. Each sprint is what is each sprint is running, and within this within the sprint planning meeting, the all the plannings which who's what needs to be done in that one sprint timing, that will be discussed and that will be planned accordingly. And on that sprint planning meeting, the business it will be a meeting between business analyst, development team, and project manager.
Okay. So, what do they do in the sprint planning meeting? What are they deciding on in that meeting?
They're deciding actually what is to be, how much they did and what is to be done.
Okay. So, do you know what is story points? How to calculate story points?
Story points. Yeah, actually, each stories are carrying some, you can say, the some points, based upon its importance, priority, you can say. Based on the priority, some stories whose are really important for the project, we can point those stories. So for example, if a story is there, that story is really important for the project, and that story carries higher higher points. So according to that, we can, according to the priority of the stories, we can give the points to stories.
Are you sure it's based upon priority or it's based upon how much time needed for the developer to work on the story?
Yeah, its priority is basically given upon the importance.
No, actually, story points are based upon work hours. So, for example, if the user story takes about 8 hours, then it is one story point. That's how we calculate. It's not based upon priority. It's based upon how long it will take for the developer or the tester to complete the work. That's how we calculate story points. 1 pointer, 2 pointer, 3 pointer.
Okay.
One
Based
pointer,
upon that timing, we can give points, huh?
yeah, how long it will take for them to complete. If it's 8 hours, then it's 1 point. If it is 16 hours, then it's 2 points. So it's based upon work hours, not priority.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah, okay.
in 2 minutes, I think it's going too long. Can you join back now again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, I was just adjusting my volume. So, also, we talked about story points, right? Okay, now,
Yes, we talk.
yeah, can you tell me about what's the difference between in scope and out of scope, and what is scope creep?
I think you forgot to record the session.
Yeah, I'm recording through
Yes.
my other recorder because.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, so what's in scope and out of scope, and what is scope creep? Define.
Yeah, I heard about this in scope out scope and scope creeping, but right now I cannot what explain. It cannot come. It cannot coming into my mind suddenly.
Okay.
but I goes.
So you know what's the difference between in scope and out of scope, right? In scope is something that your development team can develop. That is in scope. Out of scope is something that this project we cannot do. So we have to like clearly
Yeah.
tell the business owners like what our development team can do and cannot do. That is in scope and out of scope. Scope creep in the sense like if they keep on adding requirements and your budget, I mean they keep adding requirements and then that's not it was not told earlier and you don't have the budget for it, and they constantly keep adding the requirements, and if your developer is not able to do that, then that is scope creep.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
I think from the feedback, what I would give is you are having a good communication and all that, so that's not a problem. And whatever you know, you are able to answer very well, but you have to learn a lot. For example, you have to definitely learn about what is Confluence, what is Jira, and also about basics of SQL. Like the example what you
Yeah.
told is
What are
correct.
the basic queries? Yes.
Right, select statement, all that statements, joins, you have to definitely basics you have to learn and you have to tell with an example. And when it comes to BA skills, like basic skills, requirement gathering skills, you are able to say theoretically, but when is, as I said, like give me an example of a user story, you are not able to like put that in practical means, right? So my recommendation is you have to do a lot of case study and you need to come up or write a lot of user stories and have ample examples, and before even the interview, like before even he question you for more examples, you have to show a lot of examples.
Okay.
So you have to go for a practical or a project based approach, I would say. Going forward, case study based approach.
Yeah, you said in every question I have to give the answer with an example.
Right. So when I
Okay.
asked for techniques, right, can you give me what are the techniques? So you said about all the techniques, interview and all that. But what I would say is, you can say there are some techniques like interview, survey, questionnaire, and brainstorming, focus groups. And then you have to definitely say, in my project, this is how I did. Let's take a scenario. For example, that logging in and checking out, right? So for that scenario
Yes.
itself, how did you gather requirements? Based on what techniques? You can say that I had an interview session with my business owner, or I created a survey stating that how he needs to log in, yes or no questions like survey or questionnaires, and you need to give that as an example. Like you have to like demonstrate actually practically how did you do in your project.
Yes. Yes.
You got it? So, because why I'm telling is, if you're going to answer theoretically, right, in the first very 10 minutes, they will know that you don't have any experience. That's why you are answering like in one line or very like theory based. If you want to tell them that you have knowledge, when the 10 people are applying, your answers must be very unique to them and very impressive. So, that for that, the only way is you give ample examples. And they should be like, okay, he's giving enough examples, he know in and out how that business analysis work will be. I want this person only, because they are like, okay, this person is smart, can understand all the techniques in detail, and he's giving us examples. So you understand like how they're going to select. When I do interview, I do a lot of interviews and I hire a lot of people for my company where I work. I never hire people who are answering theory based. I never hire, because I know there is like a lot of people who's trying to enter into in this industry, who's doing a lot of trainings. But what we see from an interviewer perspective, what we see is, okay, I'm going to give you a job. I want you to handle that job from day one. I want you to handle the client pressure, when because you're going to lead the all the meetings, right? So as a BA, you'll be
Yes.
the one
Yes.
who will be organizing. Okay, if you cannot stand my interview pressure for 30 minutes, okay, that'll be like 20-25 people client, okay, who will be like sitting for that session, and if you cannot handle them, then there is no point for me to hire you. Okay, so for that 30
Yes. Yes.
minutes,
Right.
you got it. What my expectation as a BA is, you need to handle that interview pressure Okay, that how much ever I'm going to screw you on the interview, you need to be cool and calm and composed and polite. And I want you to answer smartly with all the examples. I don't want theory based answers, and I don't want any one line answers, and I don't want you to say I don't know. Okay, that's the expectation I
Okay.
have. Okay, that's what I hire. When I hire, I always go for like how confident they are. Okay, how that is very important more than domain knowledge. I want them to have confidence in themselves and the knowledge whatever they have acquired. Okay, they can be brand new to the industry, but I want them to have that confidence. If I put them in, if I ask them tomorrow, I give them a job and they join, and in 2 days I ask them to schedule a elucidation session or the requirement gathering session, I want them to do it without any fear. You got it?
Yes, yes,
Because
yes,
that
yes.
will be a primary phase for our team, right? The BA will be the primary phase of our team. The developer is not going to talk to the client, or the tester is not going to talk to the client, or the project manager is not going to talk to the client. It's the BA who's going to actually talk to the client. So that person must be very smart, very to the point they have to talk. No, not what you say, not like confusing. Okay, so to the point, everything should be crisp and clear and concise, and you should be well prepared before the interview, should know all the topics in and out, all the techniques very well, should know how to document, should know how to send an email in a professional way, should know how to handle conflicts in a meeting. If 10 people are arguing, how to handle that, and if they are not agreeing for the budget, if not agreeing, and there is if they are not cooperating, and nobody is replying to your emails, how to be very bold and straightforward and be professional, and how to handle the situation. For that, right, when the interview, what I expect is first is confidence. How that confidence will come? If you know the concepts very well.
Yes, yes. That means the process very well. Then only one can confidently
Yeah,
explain.
if they don't know
Yes.
the process very well, there is no point in, don't apply for the job. I would say that until you become very confident, do not even apply, because you're losing that opportunity.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I'm not applying right now. I'm not applying, and this is the very first interview I'm sitting, and this is the first interview with you as a mock. And in future also, after 1 month or 1.5 month, I also want to make a schedule another interview with you only, if possible.
Yeah, sure,
Then
sure.
only you can see the differences, because right now whatever knowledge I'm having, it's a theory knowledge only. I don't have any practical knowledge. In a 1.5 month or 2 month, within this time period of time, definitely I will work on it. I will learn all the practical things. Hope after 1.5 month or 2 month, again we schedule an interview and we sit,
Yeah.
if possible.
I always told my subscribers, if they want mock interview, definitely they can call. I mean, schedule an interview. It's my pleasure to have interview, because there are so many people who actually don't know what, and they get embarrassed in the interview, right? They go get embarrassed and they lose confidence and they give up. Okay, so first recommendation is, do not apply if you're not confident. Learn all the concepts thoroughly, and then practice mock interview with me, and then I can also guide you, give you like feedback. Once you are 90% prepared, then only you need to like start attending interviews. In that way, in 1 or 2 interviews, you will get the job, right?
Okay.
So
Yes, yes.
yeah, prepare very well, and thanks for attending, and I hope my videos are helpful for you.
Yes, yes. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, actually, because right now I'm just at crawling period, and you just give me a chance to sit for an interview, because I never thought of for sitting interviews before completion of the projects and all. But I find myself very fortunate that I'm getting a platform like this, where I can discuss each and everything with you. So it's really pleasure for me to talk to you, and thank you so much for this. And may I get your email ID, because in future if I have any doubt, I can give a mail to you, if
Yeah. So
you
you have
want.
that. You're already emailed me, right? So you can send me that. I
Yes,
will.
yes. Yeah. That's the email ID. That apart from that, may I get any other email IDs from you, if possible?
No, I'll be using only that. So I will. I'll be
Yeah.
using that
Okay then.
professional
Okay then.
references. Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay then.
Okay. So
if you will replying to that email, then also it's fine.
yeah, that'll be my professional email, and you can send that, and I will always reply. Mostly I reply within a day. So yeah, so learn the concepts, and once you are thoroughly well with the concepts, shoot me an email, and I will schedule another call, and we can take it forward from there. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. After 1.5 months or 2 months, definitely we'll sit in another interview.
Mm-hmm.
And after getting points and ratings from you only, I will start applying my resume to others.
Okay.
And if possible, I will send my resume to you also for
Yeah,
forward.
send the resume,
yeah,
and
for
I
being-
can, if I have any if I have any suggestions, I will send you, and you can change it accordingly. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks so much, thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye.